A couple of the fellas came up to talk to me in the tube last night. Were telling me how much they enjoy the boxing content on this show. And of course, Simon, you're right across that. Lawrence Okoli will be joining us later on this morning. Lawrence Okoli is going to be fighting in Africa fairly soon. We'll get more on that later on this morning. Of course, tomorrow lunchtime at 12 noon. Spencer will join us. Arsenal fans, thanks for all the calls. And I mean that. I mean, let's wait and see what happens. We've only taken 2 or 3 of you this morning. We will get back to you because plenty to get through this morning with Danny and with Simon. Manchester City. They go to Villarreal and they win by 2-0. Erling Haaland, almost inevitably, and Bernardo Silva got the 2 first half goals. But when you look at Haaland, what have Manchester City got in this guy? 24 goals in 14 games for club and country. 12 consecutive games in a row that he has found the back of the net. And this is incredible. He's still only 25. He's now in the top 10 Champions League scorers of all time, with 53 goals in 51 matches. Before last night, Danny, it's amazing. Before last night, Pep was asked if City are maybe too reliant on Erling.
To score 4 and 5, yeah, at the end. It's our key man, so what can I say? At the same time, we cannot rely on, we want to do good things, so just with Erling, And I don't have any doubts, when it will be a lock, that players will score. Omar is the top scorer, and I know Sabio one moment would happen, and Oscar as well, and TG and Phil. They are really good scoring goals. You cannot deny how good is Phil in that position, and Tijani as well. And when Rico should play in that position, as a guy always arrive in the final third really, really good. So we have to. You have Erling, it's fine, but we'll be stronger. I have to feel, okay, I will help the team to be strong.
The guy is a phenomenon, Simon. Erling Haaland. I mean, to be in the Champions League, the top 10 scorers of all time with 53 and 51.
Yeah.
And being the age he is, but it's quite remarkable what he's doing. Here's the thing, though. They want momentum, as every top team does. But are they one injury away with Erling from hitting a blip in the road?
I don't know. I mean, Haaland is a product of a new generation of strikers. We listened to Alan Shearer talking the other day, quite rightly saying that top strikers were benchmarked by 1 in 2, and now they're not. And look at the goal score. I mean, look at Harry Kane's record. Look at Robert Lewandowski's record, and obviously bring Messi and Ronaldo into the equation. But as centre forwards, we're talking about, there are remarkable achievements now. But they're playing for remarkable sides, and the fact that he's been playing in a Manchester City side for 3 or 4 seasons that has been so, up until last year, so dominant, isn't a surprise that he was able to put himself in a situation where he scored so many goals. He's a remarkable talent. I mean, I saw him on Saturday, and I was listening to some of the analysis from Mika Richards, which I didn't quite understand. I didn't think his run was so wonderful. The ball that put him in for the second goal was the wonderful thing about how he created that opportunity. But he also misses chances. But he's a remarkable player and score. And what I've seen from him this season is a seemingly different outlook, a more mature approach to leadership. And he seems to be being pushed forward. They have these, which I don't ever understand, these leadership groups that people have got to be part of. But he seems to be being pushed forward by the Manchester City hierarchy, and by that I mean Pep and his colleagues, to be more of a leader. And of course, last year we heard a lot of things being said, and some of it was a bit over the top about what level of footballer he was besides scoring goals. His game contribution was very limited. I think Roy Keane talked about him last year, saying that he's got the sort of the rest of his game is a League One level rather than just putting the ball in the back of the net. The hardest thing in the football is putting the ball in the back of the net, and if that's all he does, that'll do for most people.
Yeah.
But I think that City are a side that allow players to be good in it, but he is taking it to a new level.
His all-round game at the minute is the best it's ever been.
Yeah, that was my point.
He looks physically brilliant, fit as a fiddle, which allows him to do more work defensively for the team. He looks more powerful than ever. He's a phenomenal talent. And yes, people like Kane, Lewandowski got great numbers, but not numbers like this. Nowhere near in percentage. Right? I mean, he hasn't just done it at City either. His goals to games, are equal.
At Dortmund, yeah.
And before.
And also, in fairness, playing for his country.
Yeah. Every team he plays for, his record doesn't change. It's just ridiculous. I mean, he's posting numbers that only 2 players have ever posted, like Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, he's got a way to go there, but this is special stuff.
Yeah.
And
are they morphing into a one-man team?
Well, I think there's a fair argument to say they'd be less effective.
Would they be up it without a paddle though if they didn't have him in the team?
No, because they've got so much quality. Mamouche will come back. He's a super talent, Mamouche. Really good player. Cherky will be back. They've got other players who can score. And I still think they'd be in the top 4. But I don't think they can win the league without... If Haaland's out for a few months... Because when you watch City play, even though they've been on a good run recently, they're still giving up a lot of chances. It's a bit like Liverpool.
I mean, Harry Kane's got 74 goals in 70 games for Bayern Munich.
For Bayern, yeah. But look at his Tottenham record.
Yeah, but Tottenham... with due respect...
Well, Dortmund, you would put Dortmund and Tottenham on a similar level.
Would you?
Wouldn't you? Yeah.
Would you? And would you put the Bundesliga on the same level as the Czech Premier League?
No, but you can only go on the numbers based on the teams you played for.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And so I'm not saying Kane's not a wonderful player. Of course he is.
Okay.
But he's still not hit not quite the numbers that Haaland's done it at every team he's been at.
Right. What more can you say?
Yeah.
Jack in Manchester, why are City not in the conversation to win the league? They had...
well, they are.
We all hope they don't.
An off-season last season. They finished 3rd. Off the back of winning 4 in a row, which has never been done before, and the season before the treble. He's got a point, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We haven't...
You can't write them off.
No.
But what I would say, and we're talking 8 games in, the reality is if you watch all the games, most weekends, like most of us do, the teams pushing Arsenal are nowhere near as good defensively as Arsenal. City and Liverpool are giving up chances. No, even Everton had chances at City at the weekend. I say even Everton, don't mean that disrespectfully, but what I'm talking about, every team that plays City.
Right.
And Liverpool are giving up chances.
There's a mean-spiritedness to some extent, which is understandable because City have dominated.
Yeah.
And people don't want them to dominate.
No.
So people are quite glad that they're not dominating, so they quite happily discount them from the equation because they've had a good bloody run.
I think that's a good point, actually. I think when you don't want something to happen, you don't talk about it.
Yeah, but Jack's got a point. Because of what they've achieved before, you would think they would be in the conversation more now.
Well, I think if Haaland stays fit like he is now, they're in it. Because he's changing games on his own.
Yeah.
And nobody can cope with him. Nobody.
Right.
Even the Arsenal, he scored at Arsenal, didn't he? You know, nobody can cope with him. He just outrun them. His physical presence was too much.
How do we measure success for Newcastle in Europe? I mean, to beat Benfica, yeah, it's not bad. To beat them by 3-0 is pretty darn good, is it not, Danny?
It was a good result, yeah. I mean, they rode the luck a little bit in the first half, didn't they? Keeper Pope made a couple of great saves. But yeah, it's a great win for them after losing their last European home game.
Yeah.
And I think, there's a lot to be, excited about for Newcastle fans. Signings, they haven't seen Wissy yet, but they've brought 2 good forwards in for one. The squad's been bolstered up generally. They're not as depleted in certain areas of the pitch than they've been in years gone by. I think it could be a really good season. They've got to they ended up losing at the weekend after playing quite well. They've got to try and get a bit more consistency in the Premier League. But yeah, overall...
Yeah. You've given me a puzzled look.
Well, no,
for the first time in your life.
I'm looking at Benfica and saying, okay, the name of Benfica resonates with people, doesn't it? Because of Eusebio, because of previous achievements, and because we've got.
Yeah, but they should beat them as well.
They should beat them,
yeah.
But they got beat by Karabakh at home. So the fact that Newcastle have done a job on them is what Newcastle should do. And we're sort of saying, well, is this a great moment because they've beaten Benfica? Well, Benfica aren't a powerhouse. They might be a big name,
sure.
But the team isn't a powerhouse.
Yeah. What Newcastle did, though, was record back-to-back wins in the Champions League for the first time since 2003. And that in itself says, Eddie, is progress.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy game. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, Benfica, as you say, huge European experience. They've got a manager that's been there and done everything in the game. So we knew today was a difficult game. And especially off the back of Saturday's result for us, that ramped the pressure on us, really. And we had to handle that. And that's why the win and the way that we won, really pleasing. And hopefully we can take that into our next few games, because we're going to need to back it up. One game in isolation in the Champions League means nothing. Now it's all about the next few games.
So, Danny, for club and country, is this going to be the springboard season for Anthony Gordon?
Could be. Yeah. I mean, there's never been a doubt in his talent. I've always liked him from the minute I saw him at Everton, mainly because of his work ethic and his bravery. He's always willing to get on the ball and try and make things happen. Not so keen on the diving around a lot, but anyway. He looks really fit. He looks hungry. I've not seen him play yet this season and where he's not involved. He's always trying to impact the game.
Yeah.
He's lightning quick. He can beat people. He should score more goals. But yes is the answer to the question. This could be a huge season for him. If he stays at this level, I've seen him the last month or so for England and Newcastle, he could cement a place in the England side. He could, really have a good season and take himself to the next level. Because ultimately, whether you play wide as a 10 or a 9, false 9, you're judged on goals and assists.
Yeah.
It don't matter what else you do. And he's got to get those numbers up.
Not only were there a few more than decent performances last night and a few goals around the place, there was also an embarrassing climb down, and we'll get to that. 11:15 this Wednesday morning.
talkSPORT.